Welcome back to the Hamilton Public Library. This is Linda, and today we're making rolled flowers. You can see I've made quite a few here and glued them to two pieces of cardstock that I've glued together in the shape of a heart. I've done the same thing here with a piece of canvas that I picked up at the dollar store, and I glued a piece of decorative paper to the canvas to hide the white. And today we're going to do the same thing with a piece of wood square, and I've again glued decorative paper to it. And here are my rolled flowers. I have two types here, one that was made with a machine and one that was made by hand, and I'll show you how to do both today. So here's an example of one that I've cut using a Cricut. If you don't have a Cricut, you may find one at your local library. So you can see here what it turns into once we've rolled it. And this one I've made by hand. So if you don't have a Cricut or you don't have access to one at your library, you can do it easily by hand. So I'm going to start with a square piece of paper or cardstock and just put a dot in the middle. And then you're going to draw a spiral. Now the bigger your paper, the bigger your flower will be. So this will make a larger flower than the ones shown so far in the video. But I've made it larger just so you can see easily how it's made. So now I'm just cutting along the pencil spiral that I've made here. And you're going to cut all the way into the center. Now this doesn't make the scalloped edge because it's difficult to do by hand, so it'll be just a rounded rosette rather than kind of a rose looking one. They're just as pretty and they work just as well. However, if you do find a library, many of the Hamilton Public Libraries have a Cricut for you to use. You can make different kinds of rolled flowers. They have lots of templates on there. And you can just, make them larger, smaller, and the machine will cut it out for you, and then you'll just roll them. So once you get to the center, you're going to stop at the dot that you made in the middle, and then you're going to cut off the excess from the end. I'm going to find the end here and just cut the rest of the cardstock off. So now you can see the difference here between the one cut by the Cricut and the one cut by hand. And you can see that mine is much larger, so it's going to make a slightly larger flower. But now I'm going to show you how to roll this. I'm using a quilling tool here. If you don't have one, a toothpick will work fine. The quilling tool does have a little slot in it, so it makes it easier to start it. But you could just roll the paper around the tip of a toothpick and roll towards you. So you can see here I'm going to start rolling, and you just need to roll for a few seconds, and then you're going to remove the tool or the toothpick, whatever you're using. And now I'm going to squeeze the two ends of the rolled piece of paper, and I'm just going to keep rolling, making sure to keep it quite tight. And if it becomes loose or you lose your grip on it, you just start over. It's easy to just restart it. So I'm going to keep rolling until I get to the center. Now you'll see as I get to the middle, there's a little bit of a circle at the end. That's where you're going to put your glue. And you're going to glue the base of the flower to this circle, and you're going to hold it tight. If you don't hold it tight like I am right now, you will find that it'll start unraveling and your flower will lose its shape. So just tap it down and hold it for a few seconds until it's secure. So now we're going to roll the one that I made by hand. I'm just going to cut the end of it a bit more narrow just to make it a little easier to start rolling. And you'll see here I'm having a little bit of a difficulty inserting it into my quilling tool, so I'm just going to end up using it like a toothpick. So I'm going to roll the paper around the end of the quilling tool And once I get it rolled and started, then you can remove the tool or the toothpick. And again, you're going to hold it on each end nice and tight until you get to the middle. And like I said, depending on the size that you make your spiral, you could end up with a very large flower. So if you had, for example, a larger piece of paper, maybe a 12 by 12, I know you can buy those packs at the dollar store or at art supply stores. You can make quite a large flower. It'd be a little harder to roll, but still doable. Or you can make your size paper even smaller. This was 8 by 8 that I cut it into. You can make it 6 by 6, but the smaller you make it, the smaller your flower. So again, I'm going to get to the end and there'll be a circle there, and you're going to put some glue onto the circle and you're going to add it to the bottom of your flower and squeeze tight. I'll hold it down for a few seconds, and then you can see here I can feel it starting to unravel, so quickly I'm going to squeeze it again until it stays in place. So you can see it's a slightly different flower but just as pretty. So I've got 2 of these rosettes now done. Once you have your rosettes done, we're going to glue them to our board. I need 1 more done, so we're just going to quickly do this. And after having done quite a few of them, you do get the hang of it. It becomes faster and easier to do. So this is my take on all the shadow boxes you see out there with the rolled flowers inside. Shadow boxes can be quite expensive, sometimes running, $40 or $50 for one. So instead of doing the shadow box, I'm just doing it on different shapes and different boards that I'm finding in the dollar store and using them in the same way. So this is a much more affordable version of the shadow box. Okay, so now I'm going to glue the rosettes to my wooden piece here. And like I said, if you don't have a wooden piece or you don't want the square look, you'd like a shape instead, I made the heart just by taking a couple of sheets of really thick cardstock and gluing them together and cutting them into a heart. But you could cut it into something else, a butterfly, a star, anything that you can think of. You just want the base to be pretty sturdy, so you can look for thicker cardstock or even poster board or foam board and cut it into the shape that you'd like. So this will fit about 3 rosettes. It's a good idea to line up your rosettes before you start gluing them to see how many you would need. If you have a little bit of space at the end and you feel that you can't quite fit one more, what you can do is squish them together. So you move them over and kind of squish them together a little more, or make your rosettes a little bit smaller. So I'm using 2 shades of pink. So I'm going to line up the lighter shade now here in a row. And these can be used as decorative accents. You'll see in the photos at the end of this video how to use them, but you can use them on a shelf with something in front. It's just adds a nice touch to your home decor, I guess. And we're almost done here. And now you can see my little square is completely done and it looks really cute. Here you can see all my rolled flower projects. Thanks for watching my video, and I hope you catch my other videos on this channel.